Let's get this party started.
Coverage tight, spotlight on tomorrow. Who you with? Trust, you'll be delighted that you followed. At Phirst Contention, the invention. We debate sports, of course we should mention. What's that? We cover games, we don't play suspensions. We 100, so if your star's missing, we let you know your squad surely gone fishing. We never fish though, no, not our motto. We sport on deals, on court, on fields. The victors, the vengeance, the legends, latest invention. Phirst Contention.
I said, hola, senors and senoritas. Welcome to another episode of Phirst Contention. I'm your boy, Marvin S. Banks. Said a little bit crowded here, but let's send it over to the man over here to my left, Mr. T.Y. Sosina.
Salutations, folks. Thanks for the intro, Marvin. We want to introduce you all to the latest member of our crew here. We have Miss Capetra Jolly. Welcome to the show, Capetra.
Well, thanks for having me, guys.
Ladies, you have clamored for it, a female perspective. And so we grabbed one of the best ones that we knew.
Well, thanks.
You want to tell them a little bit about yourself?
I just know that I know what I'm talking about, and if I don't, you won't know.
Yes, we will, because we will clown you on this show.
Yes, we will. Speaking of clowns, just kidding. Steve's still with us. What's going on, Steve?
That was a good one. I like that.
I do.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Strive higher every day. We got a new person on the set. There's going to be some new things, and let's see how this chemistry goes.
All right. Speaking of chemistry, draft a few weeks away here. Jameis Winston, last year's Heisman winner.
Exactly.
He's believed to be the #1 overall pick. But the question, Marvin, Capetra, would you want to draft him #1 for your team? Who would you prefer on your team if you had the #1 overall pick?
Well, I'm a gentleman, so I always defer to the ladies. Let the ladies go first. So, Miss Jolly?
I don't know who I would prefer, but I'm not so sold that Jameis Winston deserves to be #1 this year.
Ooh, interesting.
#1, he's becoming too much of a risk off the field. That's going to translate. I know these boys are young, but I'm just not so sold. That's where I want to put my money at. Not right out the gate. I definitely believe he should be drafted, though.
Well, he's definitely going to be drafted, but I think I almost kind of like her sentiments there, Ty.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with Jameis Winston's off the field issues and him being a clown, I don't know if I can trust him with.
Hey, you call him a clown?
He has to have clownish.
Clown-like behavior.
Yeah,
Okay.
activities.
Clown-like tendencies.
Exactly.
Okay.
But to give, very childish, but to give him the keys to my city, to give him the keys to my franchise, it's like trying to give a 16-year-old a Porsche and tell him don't go over 60. You know he's going to go 110, 120, 130, so he might be the best quarterback. He might be that franchise quarterback, but I don't know. It might be a little bit too rich for my blood right now.
I hear you. Obviously, other quarterback, this year's Heisman winner, Marcus Mariota, Oregon, quack, put up amazing numbers. But again, that system, you've seen how a lot of these Oregon quarterbacks come into the league and they don't put up the stats that they did back in college, not to mention especially when Chip Kelly was there as their head coach.
True.
You talk about him not being mature, the crab legs, the investigation.
The yelling
In the student union. First of all, if you're under investigation, that wouldn't common sense make you
Lay
think
low a little bit, just
lay
a little
low.
bit.
It's like OJ when you got off. Why would you say if I did it? Whatever. That's a whole nother story. But
no, common sense ain't too common for everybody.
exactly.
Yeah.
2 seasons ago, Johnny Manziel, he won the Heisman.
Exactly.
Wasn't as much as a field general. He made big plays, though, and we see how it worked out for Cleveland. He just checked out of rehab last week. So, again, very risky. I think I'm going to have to roll with Mariota, but the question is the ceiling that high, or perhaps we go with Williams from USC?
It's definitely an interesting conversation, a topic of debate. But if I'm Tampa Bay, I would probably try, if I can move the pick back, and maybe try to pick up some more people on defense, or maybe go with somebody else, a Leonard Williams from USC,
that may be the way to go.
Or somebody like a Trey Waynes from Michigan State, who's the top corner this year. I would like,
Go green.
preferably, to move back, but I don't think they would be able to though.
And with the first overall pick too, you can get a lot back for that. And I agree. If it's not a for sure thing, that may be your next best option.
Exactly. Beatrice?
I don't know about this one.
You
I
don't-
still don't know if he deserves to be number one.
I feel you. Well, let's kick it over to Steve over the Shed's Block. Steve, what you got for us?
Well, despite all of that talk, I'm still going with famous Jameis. I mean, I think in the long run, he's going to be a better quarterback than Mariota. So, in my eyes, for a franchise type of quarterback with the number one pick, if you're going to pick one, I'm going to pick Jameis over Mariota. Just because I don't really believe Mariota's going to turn out to be a great quarterback in the long term. I could be wrong, but I've seen this happen before with these spread offense type of quarterbacks. They like to run, they're athletic. You know, the NFL's a different game. They can pick up on your athleticism really quick. Look at RG3. So I'm going with famous Jameis.
So Steve is picking famous Jameis. So it's 3 against 1. It's definitely going to be an interesting time since Chicago in your home city, Ty, where the draft is going to be. And we're wondering if he's going to be able to make it out there alive. Maybe he could drop down to the Bears. Maybe the Bears could love him and trade Jay Cutler.
I mean, they worked him out. but-
Just playing. That's not going to happen.
Okay.
Well, let's transition to something else. Jordan Spieth just won his first green jacket this past weekend.
Bravo.
Winning the Masters. Pretty much dominated the whole course. There was nobody in pretty much arm's length of him. He just, through the first 3 rounds, posted the best record first 3 rounds, tied Tiger Woods' record at the Masters. Thoughts on the Masters? Did you guys watch it? Any?
Do you want the truth?
We want the truth. Yes, we want the truth.
No. But
Okay.
you know, I read up on it.
Okay.
I flew next to some people who were going to the Masters this
Oh,
weekend.
really?
All right.
Oh, big time.
So you got some
Yeah.
sources. You have some sources. What you telling us? All right. Bringing sources to the show. Okay.
Big time. All right, we like
I
that.
won't name any, but I'm just saying.
You don't name sources. Okay. All right.
Taiwo?
I mean, I missed it as well, but checked up on it. Bravo to him. I mean, as far as the Masters go, you've seen it with Phil Mickelson. It's hard to lead wire to wire the way he did. It's a lot of pressure. Everyone's coming for you, and then once you kind of are up there, with their lower score, can you stay focused? It's different from the game of basketball or team sport where you can lean on it, but it's just you. It's all you. So for him to do that to wire to wire, props to him. I believe it was like the first time there's been a under 19 score in the tournament. So
Which begs the question. You have some of these young golfers, and Tiger Woods actually performed better than I think what a lot of people thought that he was going to perform after being on a hiatus for a long time. Begs the question, someone like Rory McIlroy or Jordan Spieth, do you think they have the marketing power to overcome Tiger Woods and his prowess back in his heyday?
Oh, comparing him back to his heyday?
Comparing us back to his heyday.
See, I don't know about that. Tiger had that feel-good story. It brought in a different demographic to the game of golf. Currently, definitely, it's going a different way. I saw Rory was out playing soccer with the guy from 50 Shades of Grey. So, people are latching on to him and how he used to sleep with his golf club when he was a kid. And I think there's a commercial out where he's kind of like,
The new Tiger commercial?
The new Tiger. So people want to. So, I mean, I feel like if they really want to, I guess. But it's going to be a different look. It's a new day.
Ty?
I'm gonna say no. A big piece of it is that demographic that Tiger did bring into it, and I mean Tiger was like a phenom. Now, for those who do watch the game of golf, it's not like this came out of nowhere. Where Jordan's been doing his thing for a while, Rory's been doing his thing for a while, so it's kind of next man up. But I mean, we've seen some of these players come, they win the Masters, and then a tournament later, or a PGA, next week, next year, a few years,
They're nowhere to be found.
They're nowhere to be found.
Exactly.
There's a lot of people who are in these, in the running, and so it's hard to stay up top. Tiger is an outlier. Rory is not even as much of an outlier. So can he be the face? I don't know.
Well, we'll see. And I'm glad that you brought up faces because I know you guys are golf aficionados. I know you guys know a lot about the game of golf. So we're going to have a little game show called Golf Professional or Other Professional. I will give you guys a name, and you guys will tell me whether he's a golf professional or another professional. Okay?
Lay it on us.
So, our first name is Mr. Bubba Watson. Golf professional or other professional?
Bubba Watson. Other professional.
Other professional?
Golf professional.
You know what? Ding, ding, ding. That's correct, Ty. He is a golf professional. Bubba Watts. Let's go to another one. Cameron Thomas.
Other professional.
Ty.
I feel like other professional.
You two are correct. That would be Wizard Khalifa, a.k.a. Wiz Khalifa's real name. All right, so let's keep this going. Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder. Golf professional.
Golf professional.
Golf professional.
You two are wrong.
Dang.
Zack Snyder was the director of 300 and also Superman. Way to go, guys.
That last Superman movie wasn't that good. So
Yeah,
that's
well,
probably why I don't know who he is.
that too. Justin Rose.
Justin Rose.
Golf professional.
Ty says golf
I
professional.
just think we should say in sync. Golf
don't-
professional.
Yeah, yes, he correct. Ding, 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 ding.
Don't ride my coattails.
He is a golf professional. All right, two more. Ricky Fowler.
Golf professional.
Golf professional. Ty.
He's the man who rode by the most. Just kidding. He's a golf professional.
That is correct. Golf professional. Correct. And our last one that we have here, Peter North.
Other professional.
I don't know if you're gonna say professional. Other.
Well, you are correct. Peter North is a golf superstar. So,
I don't want to know.
Oh my God. Send it to Steve now, please.
well, let's take it over to Steve. Steve, let's talk about the Steelers' great.
We're going to transition to me after that. Anyway, let's talk about the Steelers. Let's talk about one of the greatest defensive players that ever wore the black and yellow. We're talking about Troy Polamalu.
That's saying a lot too.
My guy just retired after 12 years in the NFL. And what can I say, man? The impact that he had on the field, the character that he portrayed off the field, he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Fame player. He's going to be somebody that everybody talks about, continuously year after year. And, the thing I think about with Polamalu, man, is just the way he kind of changed the game for the safety position. Back in the day when you had Ronnie Lott, it was just basically take your head off at the safety position. But then with Troy Polamalu, you got Ed Reed, you got guys they're kind of ball hawks. They get back there, they can make plays. And with Polamalu, he was just all over the field. You had to scheme against him because he was good in the running game. He can play linebacker in some schemes. He was blitzing. He was running and with wide receivers. He was back deep as a safety catching balls. I mean, he was doing pretty much everything for this team. And as an offensive offensive coordinator, you really had to think about where the guy is on the field. What can I do to make sure that we're staying away from him? Because if you give him free range and he can just think off of instinct because he's a smart player, he's going to make an impact play, and it's going to really kind of change the tide. You look at his career, he's 8 Pro Bowls, 5-time All-Pro player, Defensive Player of the Year,
Which he stole.
2-time Super Bowl champion. You think about the locks. You think about, his heritage being Samoan. This guy is just one of the greatest that ever played the position. And in my opinion, I think he is the greatest that ever played the position. No offense to Ed Reed. I love what Ed Reed has brought to the table, but Ed Reed does not do as much as Polamalu has done as far as being in the run game, being all over the field, and just making an impact and causing chaos everywhere.
Steve, I think that's your time.
So, Ty, I'm sorry that you're feeling a little bad about that, but that's how I feel about it, especially with the Steelers. He goes in my book, in my catalog with, Mean Joe Green, Jack Lambert, and you think Troy Polamalu as top 3 defensive players for the Steelers of all time. So I'm going to let you guys talk about it, but obviously you can see I'm letting my Steelers blood, my Steelers feelings kind of, spew out a little bit. But, hey, I love the guy. He's going to be a Hall of Fame person. And like I said, I think he's the best. But over to you guys.
Well, I know one person on the show that's disappointed with that answer, Ty.
All right, so here's the scoop. Next week, we're going to put you in Shed's block. We're going to call it Capetra's cul-de-sac. And you can, you talk about the Vikings. Steve, go and stay over there. First of all, Ed Reed is the GOAT, okay? Now, Polamalu was involved in the pass game, and more so in the run game, but he didn't return no punt returns like Ed Reed. But this isn't about Ed Reed. It's about
You put him
Troy.
back there, I bet he would. Though.
Troy retiring. Hats off. Speaking of hats off again, face, defensive, that hair, it helped. He was a playmaker. I think about, remember that they won the Super Bowl, they faced the Titans on the opening game, that one-handed pick he had. Or, those early years where Joe Flacco and the Ravens were about to win the game and he comes off the edge and forces a fumble. Who could forget? Just great player.
Exactly.
Shout out to Ike Taylor as well.
I think that the Steelers are losing a great asset to their team. When it comes to the whole Ed Reed thing, you bring up good points.
I usually do.
Very good points. But then when you think about how Troy was focused in one position and then dominated there and left his impact, and that's a hard position to leave your impact. So when you take all that into account, I think he has definitely, when it comes to that, he's the greatest.
True.
And we're going to miss him.
Well, I guess I have to make a decision here. Polamalu is great. Ed Reed is great. They are both going to the Hall of Fame. They both are definitely first ballot Hall of Famers, but they were different at what they would do. Ed Reed was definitely the center field back there. You throw it anywhere up in the back, and it's pretty much a pick six.
Don't let that ball get deflected.
Yeah, exactly. And Polamalu was, a Tasmanian devil. He could go sideline to sideline with the best of them. It was
Up and over.
Up and over, sideline to sideline, up and over. You kind of think about this class of safeties that's pretty much almost eligible for the Hall of Fame. You have those two. Then you have somebody like John Lynch, who dominated the cover two. You have my favorite safety of all time, Mr. Weapon X himself, Brian Dawkins from the Philadelphia Eagles, whose potential for the Hall of Fame is coming up very soon too as well. So you have a lot of Hall of Fame, some of those iconic safety figures eligible for a Hall of Fame. And it's kind of like Baskin Robbins. Whatever your flavor is, you get different flavors and everything.
It's a hard position to quantify. It's a hard position to quantify for sure. I mean, because the skill level, like I read Flacco was saying that he used to just purposely throw away from Troy.
Don't blame him.
Don't blame him.
So then, I mean, that's not numbers there, but that's respect.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Respect.
That's what it boils down to is respect.
Definitely respect. But I would have to say, Brian Dawkins is the only man in a game to German suplex somebody and get away with it. That's respect. But let's kick it up, Ty. What's going on over in New York, man?
I mean, you talk about Dawkins suplexing someone, getting away with it. A-Rod taking some substances and didn't quite get away with it, but he's back in New York. The fans who kind of talked about him, they welcomed him back after last season, and understandably so.
After that debacle of last season from the Yankees.
Yes, again, this man is 6 home runs away from tying Willie Mays in the all-time home run record. And the Yankees going to arbitration try to get some of that money back from him. So, I mean, do you think the Yankees are right in kind of going after that based on what they found on A-Rod? Or do you think A-Rod has a right to this money that he signed in that huge contract back in 2007?
Well, since we have a female on the show, let me ask you a question, Capetra.
Okay.
Let's say you get married, right?
Oh, okay.
Let's say you get married to somebody rich and famous. He's worth $3.5 billion, hypothetically speaking. And you didn't sign a prenup. And you guys get a divorce. Would you want some of that money that he already earned?
Wow. Legally speaking, I would be entitled to it.
Don't talk about legally speaking. I saw your face. You were like, legally speaking.
You will not get me on camera.
No matter what happened, irreconcilable differences, I'm still getting paid. Like, you don't give me my money. Same way. The Yankees put a ring on it, and then it's signed a prenup. So,
I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, the Yankees are still making money off of A-Rod.
yeah.
So what are you just going to do? Wash out the rest of his career from here on out because of this alleged what he's done. What he's been proven to do. But, I mean, you brought him back. He's still playing he's still bringing in money for you. People are still coming to see A-Rod play. I mean, they're not just being left high and dry.
True.
They got to reach a middle ground. He's going to keep playing. So we're not going to acknowledge anything that happens from here on out?
And another thing he's going to do is break that record. He's already hit one. He may do it this week. We'll get this out of the way early. When you sign a 10-year contract, these MLB contracts are guaranteed, you're the one who put the ink on the paper. Pujols, Josh Hamilton, these exorbitant contracts. And when this is the repercussion of it, you get what you pay for.
Exactly. Now, when you think about it, he kind of reminds me of a comic book villain. So if you had to compare A-Rod to some type of villain, who would you guys compare him to?
That's a good question.
I would have to say Lex Luthor.
Wow.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's very great. Why so?
Well, because, Lex Luthor has this power and this money, and we know he's a villain, but do people totally hate him? I mean, he becomes president of the United States in the comic, right?
True.
So it's like, and he kind of like philanthropy. A-Rod has the philanthropy going. He has the money power. People were upset with him, but they don't really hate him.
That's true too. Ty?
I can't come up with a better villain than Lex Luthor. Like that's it.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I think I've got someone that might top it. No, when you think about it, when you think about the Yankees, you think about the empire. No, you think about that whole big thing. And when you look at A-Rod, he was such a golden child. He was the future. Then all of a sudden, something went very wrong. Something dark happened.
A twist of fate.
A twist of fate. And young Anakin Skywalker turned into Darth Vader. You have Darth Vader here with the Empire, with Darth Vader, with A-Rod. Darth Vader, he's the villain. He's the villain that I look at when you want to compare A-Rod to that.
Fair enough. I'll take it.
It's a good analogy.
Good analogy.
Wait, let me give my little input on that A-Rod. I'm gonna say, he's like the Joker, because he take a licking, but he keep on ticking. And he laughing because he got that money in the bank. Like that one, huh?
Like that too, Steve. Like that too, Steve.
Yeah. Anyway, so just saw this happen this past week. The Morris twins, some guys was sexting their mom. So these guys obviously pissed off. Somebody's talking to their mom, sending her all kind of crazy text messages. So what do you do as an athlete? Well, these guys went over and charged the dude up. Now, me being a former athlete myself, if somebody gonna talk about my mama crazy, be all Delonte West with the Cavs or something like that, then of course I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna go charge him up too. So I commend the brothers for doing that. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel, but I just thought it was hilarious, and they just doing what they supposed to do as sons, especially being mama's boys that they are. So what you guys think?
You hit it on the
I definitely so. I mean, it had to be definitely an awkward situation where LeBron was sleeping, waking up, and Delonte West was making him eggs and breakfast with his mom and everything. But, it's definitely, can you blame, has a situation like that ever happened to you guys? Where you had to charge up, like, your mom's?
You know what? I think men and women might look at this one a little bit differently.
Okay. Why is that?
Because you all went into protective mode. I'm going to protect my mama. Brought up Delonte West. LeBron's mom was loving her some Delonte West. Into that one. We might not always tell our sons how much we really enjoy it, but that's because we know y'all a little crazy. I'm just saying.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Steve brought up them being mama's boys, and a lot of these athletes are what they are. I mean, let's call this a few of them come from single parent households, and what they do, I want to buy my mom that home, that car, really take care of them. And so when your mom brings you all this way, you want to return the favor and take care of her. So if someone's talking reckless to my mom and talking all that stuff, I'm going to go charge them up too.
Yeah, definitely.
I think she was enjoying it.
All right, now it depends. Everything
if it was
is
reckless,
case by case basis.
Case by case.
Maybe she's sexting her significant other at the time. I'm just going to side because you grown, I'm grown. But if it's a bunch of random people, who
If it's
somehow-
teammates, oh no.
Oh yeah, if it's
Ooh,
teammates.
teammates?
it's-
Nah, I
Thank you,
can't do
Shada.
that.
But what
Thank you,
about
Shada.
her part?
What you mean?
Look
like,
at me taking. I mean, I'm just saying.
You know, I'm glad that you're taking the female side of everything. But
I enjoy it.
I have a story to tell you guys that
Okay.
kind of happened. Ma Dukes, I know you're watching. I know you know the story. There was a situation where her ex-husband was doing some things that he should not have been doing. So I've came to the realization what had happened. And granted, I'm only 5'9", so I'm the smallest male in my family. So what do? I called a couple of my cousins. I called my brother, 6'4", 6'6", 6'3". Like, yo,
Let's ride on these fools at their own barbecue.
you know what I'm saying? Like, just in case something happens, I might need you guys just to, you know, hop in the Maxima. I didn't have the Bentley like the Morris twins, but hop in the Maxima and take a ride with me. So I'm minding my own business with my cousin, 6'2", you know, about 210 pounds. We had BW3s, having a nice meal, sitting back, relaxed. Then a gentleman walks into BW3s. So I'm ordering food. We take a seat. He's at the counter. I look at him, look away, and gave a quick double take. Boop, boop. The man looks at me and act like he saw a ghost because he knew what time it was. By the time I looked this way and looked back, that man was gone. That man had disappeared because I'm not going to say what's going to happen, but let's just say he had one coming. So I can understand what the Morris twins did. Matter of fact,
I mean,
kudos to them.
you know what? Honestly, if it was flipped on, it was my dad. Oh yeah, I'm running up on her.
Oh,
So
I mean, that could be just be a player play and just getting something. But we'll save that for another story too as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. But before you finish, don't forget, like the video, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and while you're at it, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Send us a question using the hashtag WeSports, and we'll answer it right here on the show.
Capetra, first time on the show, didn't mess up,
Yeah.
kind of held your own.
Closing thoughts?
I'll be back next week.
We shall see about that.
Oh.
But for Steve over there in Shed's Block, for Miss Jolly here, I am Marvin Banks, and for Mr. Ty Sosina, signing off.
Polamalu's the greatest. Greatest.
Why you're not on the screen?
Greatest. You can hear me though. Greatest.